What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Jericho AFK. My name is Jericho, and today we are going to be talking a little bit about my favorite games so far in VR, as well as my thoughts on games in general in their current state. Because, you know, it's exciting. We've got Vive now being shipped to a lot of people. We've got a lot of developers jumping on, and it's important to have a good array of games to choose from off the start that you're like, okay, these are quality games to show off to people, to play, to spend money and time and invest yourself into. Before I begin, though, I do want to say that I apologize for not having any VR content up in like 5 days. I still haven't figured out the electrical interference problem with the microphone. I do have an idea. If you guys know of anything that might be causing it, maybe the lighthouses, or if you think this will work, I'm sorry if you don't understand I have a phantom-powered XLR cable for my lavalier mic. If I plug that into a normal XLR female to male, will that still work, or do I need phantom power at the end? I don't know why it wouldn't work, but hey, I'm just asking the professionals. Anyways, let's get down to it. Thank you guys for being patient. I want to basically come up with a list of games that you should probably purchase, if not for the sole reason of showing people how cool VR is. One of the consistently most amazing times I have is not while I'm playing the games, but it's while I'm showing them off to people. And I've made videos talking about this before, but when you really have a good array in your library of games that you're going to invest time into, as well as games that you're able to show off to people without having them run through a long tutorial or having them to play and understand story to get how cool VR is, it's just going to help you out in the short term. So let me start off with the first one that I absolutely consider as a must that you actually do get for free. It's Tilt Brush, and that's kind of been repeated by everybody in the world that has a Vive. I feel the need to put it in there just because it's that great. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You guys can check it out. But if we're going to move a step further, Chunks is something that I like to show people now because what it is, if you missed the video, it's kind of like a Minecraft-esque block building game as well as a roller coaster sim. That one I'd recommend not putting people into until they're comfortable and they got their VR legs. But you know, you've got this game that allows you to build structures and scale yourself to to a normal size, as well as scale yourself up to 64 times the normal size. So you have the ability to build huge and small structures, feel like a giant as well as feel like a midget. It's really amazing, and you get such a great sense of scale in that game, which is huge for a lot of people. People look at a video and they're like, that looks big, that's cool, it looks like a skyscraper. But the feeling of seeing something that's actually 10, 40, 50 stories high, that's huge, that's like a skyscraper in VR is really what sets it apart. The scale is the really big factor in that. And I gotta say, I love Chunks. And it's not that pricey. There's a lot to do in there. I think that I've actually replaced Sculpt VR or Sculptor VR with Chunks because it's, kind of a similar thing. You can build, but Chunks is locked into a blocky grid type pattern. Now that we got those two out of the way, let's move over to one of the games that you should definitely check out if you just want to spend some time. Surprisingly, Vanishing Realms. I was a little bit sketchy about it. I was, when I was installing it, as well as I watched the trailer on it, I was like, this kind of looks like a game that's made for, younger kids, or I don't know if it was the art style or if it was just the gameplay itself. But after getting in, they actually updated the biggest gripes that I had with it, like the inventory system. So they've put out an update already that significantly made the game easier to play, but there's a good amount of gameplay there for what it costs. It's a great kind of feel to a RPG-esque VR game. I mean, we're not talking World of Warcraft here. You're not equipping crazy shit. But at the same time, you do have that feeling, that ability to re-equip yourself with weapons or whatever it may, whatever may please you. So I gotta give Vanishing Realms a thumbs up for that. It's also one of the longer form games. So if you want to spend more time, there you go. Alongside of that, The Gallery. This game is spectacularly looking. Is that a word? That's not a word. This game looks great. How about that? We're going to stick with that. The game looks great. It's got a good story so far that I've seen. I'm not going to call it some, Telltale Games, The Walking Dead storytelling skills, but at the same time, it's worth the money. It's a great cinematic almost experience because it's not, very rarely do I feel rushed in that game. It's very immersive, but at the same time, it's as slow pace as you want it to be. So I really appreciate that. and it's great to just look around in. Obviously, since it's story-based and it's actually a little bit of, kind of puzzle-solving detective work, if you'll allow me to say that, it's probably not the best game to show random people and be like, hey, check it out. I've already said Audio Shield. You guys already know about it. I'm not gonna, tap too much into that. That one is great not only for yourself and working yourself out, but also for showing other people. I did do Job Sim, all of them, and absolutely 100% recommend that game to anybody that wants a good amount of gameplay. I mean, that is about a 3.5-hour game, 4-hour game if you're going at a leisurely pace, and that's quality, and it has so much room to expand. I have a hard time believing they're not going to continue to update it. Besides that, they've integrated Twitch chat, which is outstanding. If you're a streamer, you can just read off Twitch chat there, and it's just fucking good, okay? It's just great writing. Everything's fun about it. That's great for yourself as well as for showing other people out. It's not really story-based. It's pretty self-explanatory, so it doesn't take a lot to explain. Then I'm going to have to also throw in something that I don't want to throw in, okay? I'm going to throw in something that I don't personally like that much, but everybody I've showed it to has lost their shit. So I love Hollow Point. That game to me feels like a great, solid arcade web-based shooter. Or web-based? Arcade wave-based shooter, right? I tried Raw Data, and I was really underwhelmed with it because it just seemed to want to be realistic too much. I really wanted to be a real kind of shooter-esque wave-based thing. My major gripe with a lot of these games, and Raw Data isn't included, one is that they really don't give you enough of a tutorial. They kind of, it took me a couple times playing to know you could go into slow-mo. Just give me a fucking heads-up display that points to my arm and it's like, here's what you do to do this. And don't make people search for things that are a core part of the game. But that said, everybody I've showed it to has been blown away. It looks great. That's absolutely undeniable. A lot of people don't have the same issues I had with bracing the gun against themselves. Maybe it's because they've never shot weapons before and they're not used to actually having to feel that the stock or the grip and feeling that like security. But I don't know. I'm really waiting on somebody to come out with a removable gun stock. I guess we're gonna say mold. I saw somebody on the Vive subreddit use a PVC pipe, which looked really great. But I mean, come on, Valve, hello, third-party applications are amazing. Please do it. Anyways, I digress. It was a very big fan favorite. We had 8 people over who have never tried VR last night, and everybody was quite blown away by that. Hollow Point as well, though. Not to the same level, I guess. Finally, I'd like to give a big shout out to these two final games, and the reasons behind it are different for both. So the first game is Hollow Ball. So it's pretty fucking cool if you like the Tron graphics, you like that kind of ambiance that I guess we're gonna call it 90s future. Yeah, does that make sense? Where everything's kind of this blocky, digital, purple and blue, and you get the point. I'm just a big fan of environments now that they mean a little bit more than being on your 2D screen. You can actually look around and you can hang out in it, and I think that this game has a lot of potential to be a fun arcade game. I found that a lot of the games that I enjoy the most are games that I would expect to find at an arcade. I don't know whether or not that's a good thing, but it's just for short playtime. You got maybe 10 minutes here. Load up some Hollow Ball and fucking go at it, man. Just go at it. Once they'll upgrade the AI to maybe not be as cheesy, I think it'll be a good, fun game. It's definitely difficult on the harder difficulties. That said, the gameplay is just kind of It's like very 2D. It's kind of like Selfie Tennis or Hollow Point, or these games lack anything other than what they are. They don't have story, they don't have depth, they don't have, they're just arcade games, and that's fine for what the current state is, but they're gonna get oversaturated, and that's gonna be that. That's gonna be the end of that, but we'll see. And then the other side, the exact other side of this is that I really, really love Virtual Desktop, like to the point where everybody I show it is like, I mean, it's cool, like your desktop is hanging out there, but then the ability to throw in the 360-degree videos just by using the link, fuck it, man. The ability to drag in 360-degree porn videos, like what do you want from it? It's the greatest application for something that I feel is kind of necessary in VR. You know, you kind of have to be able to use your screens, and if somebody figures out a way to actually manage your manage a launcher in there, so you don't have to shut down virtual desktop in order to open another game and load yourself in. If you could just do it all inside that program, holy shit. But it just being able to throw in a panoramic image or a 360-degree video, that in itself is pretty wowing for a lot of people, and it's so easy to do, and it's so quick. There's so many available on YouTube. It's really just a no-brainer. So it's kind of gonna wrap up my list. Hopefully I gave you guys enough things that I haven't already said multiple times. I think it's good to have a list, and I've linked everything that I've said in the description below. So if you want to check out any of them, they are all there. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys hopefully soon when I get this electrical interference figured out, or we just go back to a wired mic.